in the baseball world and in life in general, people say they want a lot of things, right? They say in baseball, they say, "Man, I wish I threw harder. I wish I was at a better program. I wish that I could hit the ball further. I wish I was a better hitter. I wish coach was playing me." Right? But they don't really. A lot of times, they don't really make that happen. And today, I'm going to tell you how to really make what you want happen align with what you're doing. I'm not going to offer you some secret or whatever. I'm not going to tell you that here's some magic drill or something. I'm actually going to leave the mechanics up to you. What I'm really going to talk about is discipline. The answer that nobody wants to hear, but is the truth to being the baseball player and being the person that you want to be. Having your wants and your actions truthfully align. In this form of discipline that I know it to be and that I've found success in, it's letting your no's mean no and your yeses mean yes. Everything in life is connected. I'm not going to act like you doing one thing isn't going to correlate to another, right? But I'm also not going to act like, going to class and making good grades is going to make you a good hitter. But instead, you start practicing that muscle of doing something you don't want to do in order to get what you need, in order to get what you really want. There's so many things you have to say yes to or no to. Like, man, I want to go have fun with my friends, but maybe I should get some sleep tonight, right? So you can say no to something fun in order to have your yes later, conserving for another time. And look, I'm not going to act like it's easy. No one ever said discipline was fun, right? To be honest, you have to be able to die to yourself. I'm going to hammer that over and over and over again. If you can die to yourself, which means you're not the most important thing in your life anymore, but the people around you are, your spiritual life, your emotional life, all these things that you start putting ahead of you, the next thing you know, it's going to be easy to sit here and say, you know what, I'm going to conserve for another time because I want to make my family proud of me, or because I don't want to be that guy that messes something up for my team, right? Once it's bigger than you, it's easy to deny yourself all the time, right? That's why everything's connected. Every single thing is connected. It's funny. You got guys that say, man, I want to be able to do X, Y, and Z on the field, performance-wise. They're the same guys at the bar Saturday night, Friday night, conference weekend at the bar. Or, you know what? Maybe they ain't that type of guy, but they late to class. They got bad grades. They ain't in the weight room on their own. They ain't getting in no independent work. And then you wonder why you ain't no good. You wonder why, let's say you even are a performer, but then in a big moment you come up short. And I'm not saying that you're supposed to come up in every big moment, and I'm not saying that every time you underperform, you got to look at yourself off the field, but sometimes you do. Sometimes you do got to look at yourself off the field. Sometimes you have this big problem that you're not addressing. And a lot of the time, I think it's a lot of the time. That's what I'm trying to say is I think a lot of the time guys are saying, man, I got it figured out, when really you don't. So what I think you got to do is first, you got to talk to some friends and family, or start digging, soul searching, start praying, and figuring out what your root issue is, right? You can address, man, I need to get up earlier, but why ain't you getting up earlier? Or, man, I need to start being on top of my stuff. Why ain't you on top of your stuff? There's a root cause, whether it's laziness, whether it's selfishness, whether it's greed, whatever it is, you got to address that in every aspect of your life. Like I said, it's all connected. Once you do that, you got to cut all the stems that don't bear fruit. If Jesus could do that, if he said, I will cut you if you do not bear fruit, I will cut the vines that do not bear fruit, then maybe you should too. Maybe, even though it's fun, maybe playing video games till 3 a.m. ain't fruitful for you. What is it doing good for you? Maybe that group of people you hanging out with, if you don't see the positives, if you don't see the fruit it's bearing, then maybe they're not for you. Maybe that stem and that vine needs to be cut. And once you start cutting stems, right, and the jungle starts to clear a little bit, you start to realize something, at least from what I've found. You start to realize where you need to be aiming. Things start getting more clear. You start looking, you say, you know what, that's not where I need to be. That's not what I need to be doing. You need to aim at him. You need to aim upward to truth. You need to aim to a universal good. Even if you're not a Christian, wouldn't you want to aim to the best thing possible? Whatever that is for you. That's going to turn you into an elite person / baseball player. Because talent can only get you so far. Maybe you got a lot of it, maybe you don't. But can you be better than you were yesterday? Stop comparing yourself to everybody else. They ain't got the same setbacks as you. They ain't got the same upbringing as you. They ain't got the same starting point, nothing. They ain't got the same muscle mass, all this stuff. Why don't you compare yourself to you yesterday? Because that's a great comparison. That is the exact same person. Are you better than him or worse? Are you the same? Or you can't even tell. So yeah, ask yourself what vines are bearing fruit for me and which ones aren't. Think to yourself, man, do I really want what I say I want? Or do I just say it because it sounds good? I can't tell you how many times I tell guys this first semester of college, you know what I'm saying? Freshmen come up to me. They'll be like, man, we got a big team. I'll be like, man, about 10, 15 guys won't even make it to the spring. Because they didn't really want what they say they wanted. And that's okay. Maybe you need to readjust in that way too. But if not, go all in. Look, the road to success is narrow. It's a narrow road. Only so much is acceptable. See how everything be applying? Everything? It just applies, man. It's a narrow road and the gate is narrow as well. That doesn't mean that not many people can fit on the road. It's that a lot of decisions you make aren't on the road to success. It's not on the road to Christ. It's all connected, man. It's all connected. A decision you make here is going to lead you this way, but your success might be over here. The road is narrow and so is the gate. So yeah, I hope you learned something from that. I hope that maybe that doesn't apply to you, but if it does, man, I hope that you can go all in and change your life for the better. I know I did, and I know that I've been blessed tenfold what I deserve. I mean, it's been ridiculous, and I just thank God for that. I thank God for how ridiculous it's been. If you like that video, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.